Soya Group, ranking 6th among Korea's major conglomerates, is huge. This massive enterprise handles everything from hotels to finance, right here at HQ. We zoom in on the 14th floor, the healthcare headquarters section. Our main character is busy on the phone, surrounded by typical office chaos. Someone is moving boxes and equipment around the busy workspace. He looks up, noticing the colleague carrying a crate of supplies. The focus shifts to the ESG team office, looking quite cluttered. The team leader is typing away, acknowledging the visitor's arrival. A cheerful colleague drops off some team samples, getting a brief instruction. The team leader responds curtly, then reacts with sudden frustration. Someone questions the manager about their current activity while tripping over clutter. A colleague notes the messy office, greeting the team leader cheerfully. The colleague asks about tagging work, receiving a stern warning about desk care. A close-up shows the team leader's intense, focused gaze. Two colleagues introduce the new employee from Strategy Team 3. The new employee looks slightly overwhelmed, sweating a little. Team leader Min-soo Lee introduces himself while seated at his desk. A colleague tells the team leader to look after the new guy, grabbing a board. Manager Yoon is greeted, and she asks what Min Jung is doing there. Manager Yoon comments that there's no space for this due to evaluations. The new guy asks to pass, saying, "Ah, yes." Awkwardly, the colleague tells him, "Well then, let's go, Jiwoo." Turning away, Jiwoo watches someone happily carrying a box of stuff through the cubicles. He asks the manager why everyone leaves their things in the ESG team area. The manager explains it's because there are empty desks in that section. The new guy is shocked, asking about the team members' whereabouts. The manager reveals there are no team members left, just Min-soo Lee. Jiwoo exclaims in disbelief that Min-soo Lee sent everyone away. He wonders how one person can handle everything, but the manager says he does. The manager confirms Min-soo Lee manages it all without any issues. The scale means even top staff face intense, difficult workloads naturally. How could a single person manage all this in the HQ environment? Min-soo Lee from the ESG team is on the line, uploading poultry rights strategy. Yes, poultry, specifically egg-laying chickens rights, using animal rights terminology. He requests checking CCTV files, contracts, and ensuring certification marks are on packaging. Min-soo confirms, clicking on the Soya Fertilizer Plant 4 chemical file. Good work. A hand with a nice watch places the phone receiver down carefully. Min-soo pauses, looking up with a slight expression of surprise or realization. The call connects to Managing Director Na Hyung-soo from the Chemical Division. It concerns the environmental ESG issue for Soya Fertilizer Plant 4 construction, due today. Protesters are outside demanding the construction halt, and reporters are coming tomorrow. The director clutches his head, clearly stressed about the impending environmental inspection. He firmly tells Min-soo to just get the ESG issue resolved today, understood? Min-soo confirms reviewing materials and planning the approach, looking very focused. However, Min-soo apologetically states he cannot finish the required work by today. The director explodes, demanding to know why the deadline cannot be met. Min-soo calmly states the meeting is early tomorrow, so he will send it by 10 a.m. The director is shocked by the extremely tight turnaround time for the report. He calculates that means Min-soo finishes work an hour after arriving tomorrow. Min-soo suggests just working 1 extra hour of overtime today instead. The director reluctantly agrees, trusting Min-soo's promise for the 10 a.m. delivery. The digital clock glows, showing the late hour of the evening. More clicking sounds emphasize the rapid work continuing into the night. Min-soo's fingers fly across the keyboard, powering through the task. He glances at his watch, perhaps contemplating that extra hour of overtime. A shot of his polished shoes suggests he is still at his desk. Someone from the strategy team interrupts, asking about team leader Min-soo. The colleague looks utterly bewildered by the situation unfolding. The empty desk confirms the unbelievable. Team leader Min-soo left right on time. They wonder how he manages the ESG team's huge workload alone. The colleague quickly grabs a folder, saying he'll just take a quick look. He opens the folder over the desk, looking at the contents. His eyes widen as he sees the sheer volume of paperwork inside. A close-up shows his shocked expression, muttering, "Perfect." He looks up, asking in disbelief if Min-soo truly did all this alone. He wonders how someone can work this hard and still leave on time. The scene shifts to the busy street as the sun begins to set. We see a view of a typical apartment building against the orange sky. Someone is quickly ascending the stairs inside the building. Min-soo finally arrives home, letting out a relieved sigh of phew. He quickly changes into a comfy shirt, ready for home activities. Groceries, including meat and some round items, sit ready for prep. Min-soo gives a confident, slightly mischievous smile, saying, "Well then." The cold briquettes need 30 minutes to heat up properly, apparently. He needs to hustle to get everything ready before the coals are perfect. First order of business, tenderizing that pork backbone with a meat mallet. Seasoning time involves red pepper powder, ginger, garlic, and soy sauce. Adding scallions, onions, sugar, and red pepper paste completes the marinade. Finally, mirin is added, everything is mixed, and it hits the fire. Behold, the perfectly coal-grilled pork backbone looking absolutely amazing. Wrapping the grilled pork backbone in perilla leaves, a perfect bite assembly. He savors the creation, clearly enjoying the deliciousness with happy murmurs. Naturally, no perfect meal is complete without a little shot of soju. Ah, that first sip of soju after that amazing grilled meat hits just right. Just one more piece before I stop. Wait a minute. What's that sound? A voice calls out, accusing him of eating without any loyalty to others. He wonders what she smelled, as the aroma is quite potent, isn't it? It's Hana, the neighbor from downstairs, who definitely smelled that amazing cooking. Hana, who was a prickly teen 4 years ago, has certainly blossomed nicely. She asks to borrow some instant rice, despite his place being right there. He is asked if he ever dates or plans to get married soon. He casually replies he will handle that when the moment is right. He seems slightly taken aback by her direct questioning, asking, "What?" Hana suggests bringing beer or a palate cleanser for the spicy food. She excitedly confirms she knows exactly where the dried squid snack is kept. Later, they sit under the starry night, enjoying their drinks on the rooftop. Hana asks him to sing a song for her after such a long time. He bluntly refuses her request with a simple, firm no. She bargains, promising to clean everything up if he agrees to sing. He finally relents, telling her to go ahead and bring the guitar. He finally starts strumming, serenading her with his guitar. Hana is clearly delighted, blushing and covering her face with joy. The music floats out under the city lights as he plays. He looks off into the distance, lost in the melody. Suddenly, the scene shifts to a bright, sunny morning on the rooftops. Sparrows chirp and flutter down onto the wooden deck below. We see a towering office building labeled Soya against the blue sky. Back to business, he's on the phone, typing away diligently. He confirms a delivery was made before the 10 a.m. deadline. He politely asks the person on the line to verify the delivery. The HR director calls team leader Lee to his office immediately. He directs him toward the office labeled HR Manager Office. The older gentleman ponders something while holding a document thoughtfully. Team leader Lee arrives, asking if the director called for him. The director asks about his workload and managing the team solo. Team leader Lee replies it is manageable, wanting to know the real reason. The director pauses, then states they need to assign people to him. Team leader Lee looks surprised, noting he never requested extra staff. The director insists, saying, "Still you're getting them." No discussion. Lee protests that personnel changes require prior consultation, but it's a VIP. A VIP is coming, specifically the chairman's only daughter. Wow! Lee realizes she was studying abroad, now apparently graduated. Lee questions why the chairman's daughter joins his team. Director sighs. The director admits it's an order from above, she won't stay long. He just needs Lee to manage her well while she is around. The director warns Lee not to cause any trouble whatsoever. He reminds Lee that VIP trouble means serious consequences for many. Lee reluctantly agrees, saying, "I understand," under pressure. The director adds a manager and assistant manager to make it less awkward. He tells Lee he will have hardship, then dismisses him. Lee wonders if they really want to harm the chairman's daughter. Someone cheerfully greets the team leader with a "good morning." The cheerful colleague announces he is dropping off team stuff today. Lee instructs him to clear all the team's belongings out by today. The colleague is shocked, asking if he did something wrong immediately. Lee calmly states he did nothing wrong, just cleaning up for new arrivals. Lee explains new team members are arriving, so they must clear out. The colleague processes this, agreeing to relay the message about cleaning up. He asks where the team leader is going since he looks busy. Lee points out the time, noting it is already 6 o'clock. Lee declares it is time to clock out for the day. We see the towering Soya building against a bright sky. Someone cheerfully greets the team leader with a "good morning." The team leader looks up, slightly startled by the greeting. The woman announces the arrival of the new team members. She introduces manager Kang Chae-eun from the other side. Then comes assistant manager Park Ji-hun, looking a bit nervous. Finally, staff member Kang Chae-eun is introduced with a cool look. The team leader suggests introductions wait until his current task is done. Everyone watches as he focuses intently on his desk calendar. Assistant manager Park Ji-hun nervously clutches a mysterious dark container. The office cubicle setup looks surprisingly sparse and uninviting. Staff member Kang Chae-eun assesses her new, dreary surroundings. She thinks this ESG team is her designated corporate exile spot. The environment is even worse than the rumors suggested, apparently. A close-up shows her thoughtful, slightly troubled expression. While studying abroad, she got the shocking news about her father. A large hospital building looms under a pale sky. Her father lies connected to machines, prompting her quiet distress. She holds his hand, tearfully asking how things got so bad. The stern-looking man seems ready for some serious business. He sits on a throne, waiting for the moment to strike, surrounded by shadows. Uncle's family swoops in and takes over the Soya Company building fast. She resolves to secure her place and defend the company from them. But the office is eerily quiet. Everyone seems stuck at their desks. What is happening? No work instructions have arrived for hours. Her fingers tap the keyboard, trying to figure out the strange delay. A colleague confirms they reviewed the ESG team's materials already. This confident guy states he won't explain the ESG team's function. Instead, he announces he will lay down his specific work policies. He stresses capability and efficiency are paramount for the team. The colleague looks slightly taken aback by the sudden lecture. He then questions them about handling important work and overtime. The office setting shows everyone at their desks, waiting. One employee seems to be quietly processing the intense questioning. Manager Kang Chae-eun confirms overtime is necessary for important tasks. Assistant manager Park Ji-hoon nervously agrees with the manager's statement. The woman sighs, realizing the direction this meeting is taking. Another employee states that work naturally takes precedence always. The woman reacts with utter shock, questioning that mindset. Overtime proves you lack capability and failed to work efficiently. The man realizes, but questions if urgent work can suddenly appear. He suggests they shouldn't accept such work, but she disagrees. He brings up the saying, bad money drives out good, right? Suddenly throwing work at them shows their side failed efficiency. Their incompetence and inefficiency transfers right over to our team. If this isn't bad money driving out good, then what is it? Good money contaminated by bad money collapses uncontrollably, he states. So we must maintain our principles under any circumstances, he insists. If overtime work comes in, you say we should absolutely refuse? He declares, if we're done talking, let's leave work. A colleague questions, team leader? We haven't done anything yet. Another person checks the clock, announcing, it's 6 o'clock, time to leave work. The woman looks shocked, asking, is this right? Everyone is seen leaving the office building, heading into the city. A sharp-dressed woman arrives, cheerfully saying, good morning. Co-workers greet her back. Good morning, Chae-eun. Chae-eun asks, oh, hasn't the team leader come to work yet? A colleague replies, it seems he hasn't arrived yet. She thought the boss would be an early bird, but this is trouble. Chae-eun worried about the boss's strict no overtime rule. That boss, who banned overtime from day one, was quite the character. But then she realized his logic about work-life balance actually made sense. Still, how could she boost performance with such strict time constraints? Suddenly, a good morning echoed as the team leader arrived. Everyone quickly chimed in with greetings for the team leader. The team leader looked directly at Chae-eun, asking if she needed something. Chae-eun quickly denied having anything to say to the boss. She noticed the clock showed exactly 9 a.m., a perfect arrival time. The team leader, deep in thought, mentioned 5 ESG-related requests. He assigned 2 of the ESG requests, starting with hazardous substances at Soya Chemical. Manager Jong was then told to take the remaining one, causing him to exclaim, what? Manager Jong questioned if he had to handle it completely alone. The team leader asked if there was an issue, noting Jong joined the ESG team yesterday. Jong pointed out this was his first time handling this type of work. The boss simply replied, so? While looking over the office layout, Jong protested that tackling unfamiliar work solo on day 1 seemed excessive. The team leader insisted he try, saying his 11 years of experience wouldn't vanish. Jong admitted his 11 years were in completely different fields, looking concerned. The boss suggested referencing previous team materials would ease the difficulty, asking, you can do it, right? Assistant Manager Park, handle the Soya homeless application review by 5 p.m. The team leader insists it's not difficult, or maybe Jong should just quit. Jong, looking stressed, agrees to the impossible deadline team leader. The team leader tells Kang Chae-eun to check the team manual first. Jong mutters, let's see. Wondering about the 10-day time frame, the female colleague confirms, hi, yes, looking slightly concerned. The team leader finishes instructions, urging everyone to work efficiently. He then demands they finish the work cleanly and leave. Everyone starts furiously typing. The office sounds like a frantic keyboard symphony. Jong realizes improving performance immediately is unrealistic, sighing internally. The office hums with focused activity, everyone glued to their screens. Fingers fly across the keyboard in a desperate race against time. The team leader checks his watch, clearly expecting results now. The team leader calls out Assistant Manager Park about the missing ESG review. Park stammers, clearly flustered as the deadline clock shows 0. A colleague notes Park's struggle, confirming he couldn't even eat lunch. The team leader presses again. Did you finish the Park assignment or not? Park admits finishing but hesitates, knowing the quality isn't up to par. The team leader cuts him off with a firm, submit it. Park reluctantly agrees, but begs for just a moment more time. He confirms uploading the file to the shared box. The colleague stammers, trying to explain the situation further. The team leader simply says, "Good job," leaving Park stunned. Park is shocked, asking, "What?" in disbelief. The team leader tells him to take a break for coffee and a smoke. Park questions if he actually did well, still confused by the praise. The team leader presses why he seems disappointed after being told he did well. Park quickly backtracks, saying he'll just go grab that coffee. Another colleague wonders why Park expected to be scolded instead of praised. She announces she also uploaded her work, referencing past team leader methods. The team leader confirms Park's excellent performance with a smirk. He then announces a smoke break while reviewing materials, which she permits. The colleague watches, utterly bewildered by the strange office dynamics. A powerful figure questions everything, having been raised in a wealthy family. She thought her judgment of people was naturally sharp. Clearly not. Even after one day, Park, deemed incompetent, got praised, confusing her. Manager Jong, who seemed slow, finished work way ahead of schedule too. Not a single expectation she had upon joining the company has been correct. Team leader Min-soo remains the biggest mystery to her despite everything. His cryptic words, morning attitude, and recent actions are all baffling. The only certainty is team leader Min-soo leaves exactly at 6 o'clock. The digital clock confirms the precise moment of his departure. The clock ticks over, marking the end of the workday. Thud. The sound signals the team leader is making his exit. "All right, let's leave work now," Min-soo announces, ready to go. Park thanks the team leader as he walks toward the exit. The remaining team members stare in stunned silence at the departure. Someone chuckles, clearly amused by Park's timely exit strategy. "Wow, so that's how you leave on time, Assistant Manager Park? Aren't you curious what our team leader does after work?" "What do you mean?" he asks, clearly confused by the statement. They explain Park timed his departure down to the very second. He left exactly at the 6 o'clock partition. No delay. Seriously? Not even 1 second late? Someone confirms the observation. "Yes, I saw it clearly," confirming the precision of his exit. She notes his arrival was just as punctual, exactly at 9. Could he have some kind of obsessive-compulsive disorder? They wonder aloud. Park walks out past the Soya building into the sunset glow. "Anyway, let's hurry up and leave too," they urge each other on. It's already 1 minute and 21 seconds past quitting time. She wonders if his proposal was actually good in that short time. The team leader praised him, so it couldn't have been terrible. But still, access to today's submitted work is now available since approval finished. Should she just sneak a quick peek at Park Ji-hun's file? Why is her heart racing over something so simple? Huh? What is happening right now? Wait a minute. What is this she is seeing? The ESG reports look incredibly polished and professional. They did well, surprisingly well even to her. Why did they perform so excellently? Did she misjudge everyone? She realizes she was overly sensitive because of her uncle, thankfully. Establishing her position requires capable teammates, which she luckily has. A phone rings persistently, while she is clearly exhausted at her desk. She finally succumbed to sleep right there at her workstation. A sharply dressed man arrives early in the bright, imposing lobby. Someone calls out "Mr." to the arriving gentleman. She apologizes for falling asleep after being asked to bring clothes. The gentleman asks if she is okay after pulling an all-nighter. He suggests soup nearby since she hasn't eaten, but she declines. She insists on simple cafeteria food to avoid getting too sleepy. She insists she is fine and promises soup next time before saying goodbye. We see a brightly lit, empty gym area, perhaps a place for stress relief. She changes into her work attire near a row of lockers. A shower head sprays water, signaling a refreshing cleanse. She enjoys the warm shower, washing away the fatigue. The scene shifts to a bright, modern cityscape with tall office buildings. Inside a large, bright office lobby, people are bustling about. An enthusiastic junior greets the manager and assistant manager cheerfully. The manager seems surprised to see Chae-eun already at her desk. Chae-eun points out the manager also arrived early, explaining her own early start. The manager looks sternly, adjusting his professional attire. He notices the time, 0840, and seems momentarily speechless. The assistant manager and junior look on with slight apprehension. The digital clock glows bright red, marking the early hour. The manager offers a polite, slightly forced "good morning." He then asks if anyone has anything pressing to report. Chae-eun, already working, simply responds with a non-committal, The manager announces no ESG requests, suggesting a cigarette break. The assistant manager agrees, telling him to go ahead and review materials. The junior reacts with utter shock to the manager's suggestion. Assistant manager Park is startled, asking what the issue is. He is confused, asking what the other person is talking about. Chae-eun is shocked, exclaiming that the report isn't hers and who uploaded it. Someone exclaims in disbelief that assistant manager Park didn't do this ESG report. The team leader casually admits he touched it up a bit. The junior is stunned, asking if the team leader actually did the work. The team leader explains he just expanded assistant manager Park's ideas smoothly. The junior observes the difference, noting the polished work is on another level. The junior then asks about manager Jung, who apparently did another one. Manager Jung confirms he did it, referencing a previous instruction to the team leader. The junior thought manager Jung was motivated, but the team leader praised copying. The junior is stressed, realizing the situation is giving them a headache again. Footsteps echo as someone walks away from the desk area. The junior questions manager Jung why the team leader uploaded his work instead. The team leader's usual style is apparently just taking over without telling anyone. The team leader admits he is anxious about the situation, though. He guesses the team leader just does the work himself when standards aren't met. A typical leader scolds or teaches when a subordinate's report is lacking. The reason for doing it himself is simple. No intention to develop staff. He has no intention of maintaining this team, just following orders from above. In short, the ESG team is a designated death trap, apparently. This setup is designed to eliminate the last royal family remnants completely. That's why they stuck the clueless Park Ji-hun here. And here I am, clearly on the path to being disposed of too. So what about the team leader in this whole mess? He's probably just a stooge handling all the dirty, bloody work. Or maybe he's just as trapped as Park Ji-hun and I are. Seriously, is this some kind of sacrificial burial ritual? Anyway, I'm done wasting energy on these awful higher-ups. This isn't the first time I've been in this terrible situation. That smug-looking guy outside just needed a quick smoke break. 2 colleagues head out for a quick, necessary outdoor break. She's totally exhausted, but she just cannot give up now. Adjusting her hair, she resolves to do her absolute best her way. She approaches the team leader, ready to prove herself immediately. The team leader looks up, slightly surprised by her sudden approach. She confidently states she has already memorized the entire work manual. He reacts with disbelief, asking if she finished that already. She confirms her impressive feat with a determined expression. He is shocked she finished the massive manual in just one day. She details governance, ESG activities, and avoiding executive misconduct. He cuts her off, demanding the guidelines for ESG reports. She lists GRI themes, impact reporting, and SASB standards. He stares blankly, processing the massive information dump. He asks if she had prior experience with ESG topics. She admits studying for 2 days after the ESG team assignment. He acknowledges her good memory, but notes the one-day feat. She explains that sheer desperation fueled her rapid learning. She leans in close, emphasizing her current seriousness. He looks intently, realizing she is completely focused now. She asks him to treat her seriously too, team leader, please. He just stares back, processing her intense request. He finally concedes, saying he understands her point. Transitioning to the next day, the city skyline looms large. Everyone in the office cubicles is typing away furiously. She looks worried, realizing what she just admitted. The team leader peeks over his monitor, watching closely. She admits she revealed her whole situation indirectly. She worries if the team leader is secretly working for her uncle. She concludes this risky move was her best option now. She looks confused, asking, "Huh?" A colleague urgently tells the team leader they are in serious trouble. The team leader pops up, asking for the reason. Why? The colleague asks if he saw the Soya Liquor news story. The team leader looks serious, questioning the news part. The headline screams Soya Liquor is #1 in sales but last in environment. Soya Liquor, a top seller under Food HQ, hasn't adopted eco-friendly systems. ESG rules strictly penalize companies making harmful products like alcohol. This subsidiary is crucial, demanding constant attention from their team. The colleague notes bad public reaction, hoping the ESG team handles it, but needs immediate contact. "No need to worry," someone says. "Just do what you were doing." She questions this, asking if handling this isn't their actual job. Typing furiously, the thought is that they should establish countermeasures for the environmental issue. He replies that the relevant department will contact them soon enough, so just keep working. She reluctantly agrees, sitting back down at her desk, looking slightly defeated. He thinks to himself, "As expected, I was too hasty while typing." He continues typing, observing that that person shows no company attachment. The office scene shows everyone diligently typing away at their cubicles. She looks concerned, clearly pondering the situation and the lack of action. She wonders if the ESG team's passive approach is the issue, or if that person truly cares about nothing else. ESG staff member Kang Chae-eun calls, confirming his identity with surprise. He asks for the team leader, needing a moment to connect the call. She hesitantly calls for the team leader, tapping nervously on the desk. It's the Soya Liquor PR director wanting to speak with the boss, so he says, "Pass it over." The team leader, Min-soo Lee, takes the call, asked about the article. The team leader acknowledges the article, suggesting a careful response is needed. He insists the ESG team should handle the media response directly for optics. The younger man pushes back, stating that media response isn't their job. The team leader asks if he even read the article, noting it's an environmental issue. The younger man questions if the team leader truly believes it's an environmental problem. The colleague looks shocked, wondering if team leader Lee told him to read the article. He presses, asking why this isn't considered an environmental issue by the team leader. The team leader firmly states it is absolutely not an environmental problem, clearly. The younger man accuses the team leader of playing semantics with the situation now. He points out the article clearly stated the other two liquor companies were favored. All the newspapers picked up the story about the signing ceremony announcement. The issue is that Soya Liquor, who was quiet, got framed by the narrative. This trivial article quickly hit the real-time search rankings, causing a stir. The media response and viral teams were immediately activated because of the buzz. He asks pointedly if the team leader still thinks this is just an environmental concern. The office buzzes with keyboard clicks as everyone works, clearly stressed. A colleague questions if the current handling of the situation is truly appropriate. The team leader's previous statement wasn't entirely wrong, but the context shifted. Someone interrupts, saying the PR director wants to talk to the team leader again. He curtly tells them to just pass the phone over immediately. The caller identifies himself as Min-soo Lee, the ESG team leader. Lee wants to discuss the earlier issue and requests a quick face-to-face meeting downstairs. The team leader looks serious, clearly not thrilled about the interruption. He asks why they can't just discuss this sensitive matter over the phone. The caller insists he is too busy to chat over the phone right now. Someone rushes toward the elevator, making a loud entrance. "Team Leader Lee!" the person yells, clearly agitated. The caller yells, "Are you kidding me? Do you even know what kind of situation this is?" The protagonist calmly replies, "I never said I was kidding," while colleagues look on. The agitated person continues, questioning nitpicking during peak season sales, demanding loyalty. The protagonist states, "That doesn't mean I can do something that isn't my job." He explains the ESG team only handles documents, implementation is others' work. The caller scoffs, asking if he's proud of paperwork while performance tanks. He shouts they should feel sorry for field workers and suggests eliminating the ESG team. A female colleague reacts, thinking that suggestion is way over the line. What? I'm not the one who created the ESG team. And you think it's right for me to just comply when you tell me to? As I said, our team only creates proposals, we don't handle implementation. We don't have the personnel structure or work regulations for that. But you're forcing us to do practical work outside our team's scope. That means responsibility and authority for practical work would arise. How will you handle that responsibility and authority? What are you talking about now? I'm just asking you to help as a related department. No, that's not it. What I'm asking you now is whether you have the power to give our team such authority. You're not in that kind of position, Director. The imposing door finally opens for the next meeting. The older gentleman invites someone in while cleaning his glasses. A polite "excuse me" as someone enters the room. Enter Kang Chae-eun, the sales division general manager, looking sharp. The vice chairman acknowledges him, putting his glasses on now. Vice Chairman Park Ki-ju asks about countermeasures for the situation. Kang admits the surprise attack makes things difficult. He suggests the specialist department handling environmental matters should step in. The vice chairman sips his drink, pondering the environmental specialist idea. Kang confirms, yes, the ESG team, with a knowing look. Though it's just a formality, entrusting them seems wise. The ESG team handles all the group's environmental stuff, right? So what's Soya Liquor going to do in the meantime? We support ESG now, then counterattack when the heat dies down. Vice chairman agrees, telling Kang to handle conveying this to ESG. Wait, the vice chairman suddenly stops Kang with a sharp, wait. He asks if Chae-eun is indeed part of that ESG team. Kang confirms, and the vice chairman dismisses him with an "I see." The vice chairman ponders, realizing the hidden motive is quite clear. Shifting blame to the ESG team is a calculated, smart move. Success for the ESG team would still be a win for him. Surprisingly, he pops a little square thing in his mouth, feeling quite pleased. This guy, looking sharp, is clearly taking after his cunning father. Meet Kang Chae-eun, the fourth son of the vice president, Kang Chae-eun. He leans back in his fancy chair, clearly contemplating something big. He muses about Min-soo Lee, perhaps a key player in his plans. Now he's sitting up, looking thoughtful while holding some papers. He pauses, realizing something important about the situation unfolding. A phone rings loudly, interrupting his deep strategic thinking. Someone on the other end is getting an earful about a missing report. He demands a straight answer. No more beating around the bush. The subordinate apologizes, admitting the mission did not go well. The caller explains the ESG team needs proper authority for the work. He questions the lack of authority, looking intensely at the phone. The subordinate confirms the director stated he lacked that specific position. He asks for the name of the team leader causing the issue. The name Min-soo Lee is revealed, prompting a slight pause. He dismisses the idea of direct handling, insisting the ESG team must act. He slyly suggests giving Min-soo Lee the requested authority. He adds that responsibility must accompany that new authority, checking a document. Responsibility and authority, a classic power duo, he confirms. He smugly confirms that the message about power has been delivered. The older gentleman on the phone looks utterly confused by the news. The caller explains that team leader Min-soo Lee has suddenly left work. A close-up shows the caller sweating nervously about the situation. The older man is shocked that the ESG leader bailed during a crisis. He asks if anyone has managed to reach the absent team leader. The response is grim. No answer on the phone or messages. The older man panics, asking about the manager. Surely someone is there. Turns out the manager also clocked out, leaving the boss utterly bewildered. Someone asks if she should handle the crisis. What should the vice chairman do? The boss is stressed, realizing how bad the situation is getting. He tells her not to bother coming in, then hears she just arrived. He quickly changes his mind, telling them to send Kang Chae-eun in immediately. Kang Chae-eun arrives, greeting the vice chairman politely after a long time. He tells her to sit down first while he surveys the empty office. He notes she seems to be having a tough time managing everything. She explains she was alone checking things while others left work. The boss calls the others irresponsible for leaving during the emergency. She counters that their team never had responsibility to begin with. What did you just say? The problems mentioned are from ESG proposals sent to Soya Liquor. Execution judgment by subsidiaries means responsibility lies with them, apparently. So that's why everyone bailed during this crucial moment? No reason to stay. The team leader stated his position. But wait, did Soya Liquor order the ESG team? It was an order. The PR director even visited our office, I see now. No wonder Kang Chae-eun showed up. Something big was clearly happening. Soya Liquor tried to dump the blame onto the ESG team. Oh dear. Someone grabbed the chained ESG team sign, looking quite burdened. But it seems the ESG team leader was not easily manipulated. So he refused their logic. Even Kang Chae-eun left me speechless. What could the PR director do? Even Kang Chae-eun couldn't challenge the ESG leader's strategic chess move. The ESG leader cleverly used responsibility and authority to seize control. Wow, this guy is seriously competent. Not just anyone can pull that off. The vice chairman dismisses Kang Chae-eun with a curt, "You may go now." She was stunned, asking, "What?" After offering a solution for the matter. The leader insisted, "If you grant us authority, the ESG team handles this." He then sharply repeated his order for her to leave immediately. She reluctantly agreed, turning away with a defeated posture. The older man sat alone, reflecting on his past protective intentions. He sighed, realizing she entered the succession battle way too fast. The call isn't connecting, which is quite inconvenient right now. She sighed, needing to quickly update the team leader about this situation. A vice chairman calling a team leader means only one thing: ESG team duty. Being dismissed means the chairman's daughter gets involved, causing unnecessary drama. But will the team leader just obey a vice chairman's order like that? Her expression tightens, showing deep concern about the unfolding office politics. Someone comments on, "Wow, that's your seat, ESG team leader, right?" Another voice confirms, "Team leader Lee is serious, he's always been like that." She wonders if he was always this intense, only knowing him as quiet. They explain he is quiet but never backs down when a real conflict starts. He logically dismantles opponents. What can anyone possibly do against that? Higher-ups might target a team leader, but this team is already a sitting duck. If they try to fight back, they only hurt their own planning proposals. Now hearing the details, this sounds like the King of Kings move. Apparently there was a similar situation involving Planning Team 2 before. Team leader Lee was gone, not answering calls, causing chaos upstairs. The listener is shocked, leaning in, wanting to know the next move. They ran to HR for his address and went straight to his residence. The narrator laughs, saying this isn't the dark ages without pagers. Wait, someone is still here after hours asking if anyone else is around? He promised to handle everything next day without any fuss. The listener is soaked, trying to shield herself from the downpour. He spots her outside, calling out Kang Chae-eun's name. Suddenly, we are in a supermarket advertising new irresistible products. He browses aisles, anticipating a summer discount announcement soon. He reflects that big changes never happen without prior notice. 3 new members joined a team that previously had no one. One of those new hires is even the chairman's own daughter. Today's office drama will definitely not just disappear quietly. They dumped the morning mess on the team right before quitting time. The main issue, it seems, is Kang Chae-eun. A powerless heir is trying to handle work dumped by a shrewd broker. When these opposing forces clash, expect some serious office fireworks. Suddenly, a familiar face appears in the pouring rain outside. She looks distressed, holding something, saying she cannot stay out. He asks why she looks like that, explaining his return. He asks about the urgent matter that brought her out here. The vice chairman was looking for her after hours, apparently. Since everyone else left, she met him and is now heading back. He abruptly asks if she likes mung bean pancakes, confusing her. They walk across the rooftop under a heavy, city-lit downpour. She looks utterly bewildered by his sudden food query. The rain is coming down hard over the sprawling apartment blocks. He asks why she is just standing there, inviting her inside. She politely declines, but he insists she dry off first. She starts using the provided towel, looking slightly flustered. He is busy preparing something while she tries to refuse his help. His hands are quickly washing something in a bowl of water. He then asks if she possesses any culinary skills whatsoever. She admits her cooking abilities are severely lacking, sitting down. He points out the blender under the rice cooker, instructing her to plug it in. She hesitantly confirms which appliance he means, looking slightly confused. He details the process: mug of water, food in the blender, set to level 4. She questions the sudden need to follow these precise blending instructions. She argues that efficiency suggests just buying pre-made food instead. He stops the machine, declaring the grinding complete and sufficient. She wonders if more grinding is necessary for a better result. He explains overgrinding makes it tasteless, needing a rough grind for pancakes. He shows the batter consistency, explaining fine grinding ruins the texture. She tries to relate the texture to something familiar, like hash browns. She realizes the texture is like hash browns, then demands dipping sauce ingredients. He lists the sauce components: vinegar and water, 1 tablespoon each. He carefully adds half a coffee spoon of sugar to the mixture. Stirring until dissolved, she looks anxious before adding peppers and onions. They work in the small kitchen, one stirring the sauce, the other cooking. Outside, it starts raining heavily, adding a dramatic backdrop to the cooking. He presents the finished pancake and dipping sauce, telling her to eat. He offers her a drink, and she thanks her team leader politely. She offers to pour him a drink as he takes his first bite. She nervously watches, wondering if her team leader will enjoy the food. He carefully feeds her a bite with chopsticks so close. She looks surprised as the food enters her mouth, anticipating the flavor. The pancake is described as crispy outside, soft inside, with rich oil flavor. He asks how it is while she replies it is truly delicious. He reveals the secret ingredient is using so much lard for perfect texture. Too little lard makes it soggy. Lots are needed for proper air pockets. They both sit down, looking slightly unimpressed with their current drink situation. Several bottles of what looks like rice wine are lying around the floor. She beams, holding a bottle, asking how he became such a great cook. He cuts her off, saying she needs to stop drinking and he won't pour more. She's clearly upset, huddled up, whispering, "Team leader." She asks if they can handle this matter, while he questions the vice chairman's input. He thinks the vice chairman intends to assign this work to them, no other reason. He confirms the vice chairman didn't say anything specific to him directly. She sighs, feeling overlooked, thinking she isn't even on his radar. Then she suddenly declares, "Then let's do it," with intense focus. He is shocked, exclaiming, "Really?" At her sudden change of heart, he reminds her she firmly refused the company before, which surprises him. He explains that refusal was due to an unqualified director overstepping boundaries. She shrugs, saying all work is basically the same, just different roles. He wants his presence known by executing the ESG projects capably. He then asks her, "So, please help me." He silently requests, "Do this work with me." She agrees, promising materials via messenger. Just perform well like before. He warns against new employee enthusiasm causing accidents. Then she thanks him. She questions his meaning of like before. He clarifies, referencing making mung bean pancakes previously. He insists she just does what she is told, like before. He states he handles the work, not helping, so don't misunderstand. She asks about helping. He claims he doesn't do things like helping people, nor seeks respect. He asks if she said everything she wanted. She stammers about the delicious food. He offers tofu kimchi, adding she must do the dishes, and she agrees to help. She reflects on him being someone who avoids high positions and leaves work promptly. He is described as someone uninterested in advancement, only doing what he enjoys, yet capable. This was the true, strange identity she discovered about team leader Min-soo Lee. She takes a bite, looking thoughtful as he watches her. He prompts her, asking if she has something to say, but she denies it. She realized targeting his after-work life was better to gain an ally against office politics. The next day, they greet each other outside the Soya building. They exchange polite good morning greetings upon arriving at work. He gets ready for the day, adjusting his jacket by the window. The vice chairman confirms Min-soo Lee from ESG is on the line. The vice chairman assigns the Soya liquor matter directly to the ESG team. He agrees immediately, but requests necessary authority for the task. The vice chairman grants authority, warning responsibility follows, then hangs up. The vice chairman, having forgotten, asks for the caller's name again. Min-soo Lee states his name, and the vice chairman acknowledges him. Back at his desk, he reports to the team leader about the assignment. The team leader is surprised, but Min-soo confirms the vice chairman's order. He announces he and Kang Chae-eun will handle Soya liquor, reassigning old work. Someone is nervously peeking over the cubicle wall at the team leader. The team leader confirms the reassignment with a very serious, dark expression. Min-soo asks about approvals, and the team leader delegates the task to manager Jong. Jong will handle the compilation, so let's get started on this new project immediately. Min-soo calls out to assistant manager Park, who jumps up looking completely shocked. Min-soo instructs Park to come over right now and bring writing materials for the meeting. Min-soo immediately grills Park about the structure of the team leader's past proposals. Min-soo is furious, demanding why Park still hasn't grasped the proper proposal format. Park nervously admits he has only seen 4 ESG-related proposals from the team leader. Min-soo's eye twitches, utterly unimpressed that Park has seen so few examples. Min-soo explodes, asking if Park actually did that garbage work. A colleague, Kang Chae-eun, looks on with a silent, concerned expression. Min-soo calls out Kang Chae-eun's name, getting her attention. Min-soo then asks Chae-eun how many proposals she has seen. Chae-eun confidently states she has seen 19 proposals. Min-soo asks about the team work manual, which Chae-eun memorized. Min-soo asks if they heard that, questioning their capabilities. He demands what they bring to the table, implying they lack talent. Min-soo assigns 2 requests to himself and 2 to Park, demanding action. Min-soo instructs them to find similar proposals and format them by morning. Chae-eun confirms her identity as Kang Chae-eun from the ESG team on the phone. The colleague confirms understanding while looking puzzled at his monitor. He relays that team leader Kang Jun-woo from Soya Liquor is looking for Min-soo. We see a hallway with multiple sleek, modern elevator doors. Kang Jun-woo, looking sharp, invites someone to enter his office space. Min-soo enters, and Jun-woo welcomes him, gesturing for him to sit down. Jun-woo acknowledges the ESG team handling the matter, but expresses worry about peak season sales. He directly asks Min-soo for his plan to handle the situation, seeking confirmation. Min-soo offers to answer questions, then immediately asks about environmental plans first. Jun-woo dismisses the environmental plans as not urgent, causing a slight reaction. Soya Liquor faced a negative marketing attack, which is an underdog tactic. This tactic undermines competitors while highlighting the attacker's strengths, like Hyeon's team. Top dogs cannot attack first. Responding poorly traps them in a messy situation. Any mistake in explaining just gives them more ammunition for further attacks. Jun-woo asks for the countermeasure, and Min-soo suggests launching counterattacks. The plan is to use even more vicious negative attacks to create total chaos. When everyone is struggling, the weaker ones, like DS and Heen, will sink first. Jun-woo seems thoughtful, suggesting they block the initial attack first, then respond conventionally. Min-soo confirms his explanation is done, and Jun-woo approves the strategy. Min-soo agrees and prepares to leave, holding a small, round object. He clarifies that implementing a couple of their ideas is necessary for good coverage. Wiping his mouth, he agrees, stating those actions are inevitable eventually. Holding the small object, he confirms the plan and prepares to depart. Jun-woo pauses, clearly contemplating the implications of the agreed-upon strategy. He walks into the office area, where the word "Jeobak" echoes around. Someone asks if that was a call from them, and he admits uncertainty. Kang Chae-eun, looking stressed, confirms the call with a sigh. She agrees to pass along the message while clearly feeling the pressure. The team leader asks Kang Chae-eun about the nature of the call. She nervously explains it was the group's PR office calling them in. It's a decarbonization hearing with 3 dates, 6th, 11th, and 17th. The team leader asks for direction on which date they should attend. A close-up shows a slight knowing smirk forming on someone's face. This must be why they dumped the work, only telling them the details now. They will feign ignorance, avoiding blame while just watching our next move. Shifting the burden while somehow keeping control. Classic corporate maneuvering. Skipping the hearing means punishment, plus the media will surely attack. Wait, what about that Kang Chae-eun guy? Or the Soya liquor manager? He didn't say much, maybe he genuinely didn't know about the dates. Footsteps approach as someone puts their jacket on, looking ready to leave. Schedule the hearing for the 6th, but success is conditional, team leader. She confirms understanding the date, the 6th, with a slight hesitation. A sudden realization hits her, causing a visible shock and confusion. Wait, the 6th is actually tomorrow, she questions the team leader. He insists the sooner they handle this, the better for everyone involved. Soya liquor won't move until the hearing concludes, apparently. The plan is to resolve everything in one go at the hearing. Not affecting DS Beer or Hyain Brewing, just cleaning up this mess, and taking down Kang Chae-eun as part of the cleanup operation. He vows never to let anyone who wronged him simply walk away. They confirmed the National Assembly was already notified. Apparently, no separate instructions for the media team. Wrapping up at the hearing. He wonders if the guy is just rude or genuinely unhinged. Launching preemptive negative attacks seems safer for now, he thinks. It doesn't matter. If chaos erupts, he can blame the ESG team. He mentions a fondness for gum, a simple pleasure. You can enjoy the sweetness, then discard it whenever you wish. Back in the office, people are busy working at their desks. Someone apologizes profusely while holding some paperwork. The team leader points out deviations from the original plan's outline. He stresses adding industry trends and ESG data to the report. The question is posed, how does your work differ from the leader's? The leader uses clear statistics, while your approach relies on weak opinions. An hour is given for a complete revision, prompting a shocked reaction. The team leader leaves for an errand, expecting immediate compliance. Manager Jong Kyung-jun was really laying into assistant manager Park Ji-hun. The team leader was unusually busy, even stepping out for business matters. It was the most intense day for the ESG team ever, but something felt off. She wasn't feeling the usual workplace dread. Normally, she'd worry about the leader's strange thoughts, like pancake recipes. The Soya building glowed under a dramatic orange sunset. An older gentleman pondered deeply while tapping on his laptop. His intense gaze through the glasses suggested serious contemplation. Zero counter articles meant the opposition was planning something big for tomorrow. A bold, risky move was coming as stalling offered no advantage. That is, assuming their supposed winning strategy actually works out. He wondered aloud what kind of decisive winning move they could deploy. Someone quickly picked up the office phone, dialing with urgency. The phone sat ready, its red light indicating an incoming call. Staff member Kang Chae-eun answered, greeting the vice chairman politely. The vice chairman learned team leader Min-soo Lee had already clocked out. He demanded to know when the team leader departed, checking his watch. The reply confirmed he left precisely at 6 o'clock, causing shock. The vice chairman yelled to bring that guy back immediately, but Kang Chae-eun hesitated. She explained retrieving him after work hours would be quite difficult, oh dear. He exploded, asking why he couldn't be reached after leaving work, the audacity. The vice chairman was furious about abandoning responsibility after such grand talk. He considered an emergency response team, feeling the pressure mounting intensely. Kang Chae-eun reassured him, saying Min-soo promised to handle everything, trust them. The vice chairman skeptically asked if she was truly confident in that promise. He wonders what winning move they could possibly have prepared, pulling his face in thought. He's more curious about that team leader guy, just who is he really? Then, the day of the big hearing finally arrives, setting the scene. 2 suited figures emerge from a rugged black SUV in the parking structure. The team leader asks if everything is prepared and she confirms it is. He says, "Then let's depart," and she responds with a simple, slightly stressed, "Yes." She lets out a big sigh, realizing the moment has truly arrived with a startled yelp. Riding in Min-soo's car, Chae-eun thinks even Soya Group leaders have it rough. Learning about team leader Min-soo Lee's income will be a story for later, apparently. Stuck in traffic on the bridge, the two sit in awkward silence. She notices the diving gear and is clearly taken aback by the sight. She asks if the team leader is into scuba diving, pointing at the gear. He clarifies, stating he prefers free diving, which is diving without tanks. Chae-eun is confused, asking what freediving entails, looking for clarification. Min-soo explains it means diving without any air tanks attached. He then asks the obvious follow-up. How does one breathe down there? Min-soo delivers the punchline. You die if you breathe underwater, apparently. Chae-eun reacts with a nervous sweat, realizing the danger involved. She asks if freediving is inherently dangerous, looking concerned for him. He casually replies, it's fine if you avoid doing dangerous things, of course. She clarifies she meant asking about the hearing, not his hobbies. He confidently states he memorized everything she said yesterday. He asks if she is nervous about the upcoming situation. Chae-eun replies she feels much better now. Surprisingly, she internally notes he is truly an odd person. Despite the seriousness, things feel completely normal, she thinks. He insists all work is essentially the same, just different tasks. She feels like being with the team leader is just more work. Being with him makes her feel capable of handling anything tough. He curtly tells her to exit the vehicle now. Let's go, he commands, approaching the imposing government building. The team leader gives a look that says business is serious now. Someone politely directs them down the hall. Please come this way. She looks slightly overwhelmed by the sudden shift in environment. They enter a large room set up for a formal committee meeting. Photographers are already positioned, ready to capture the proceedings. Two older gentlemen in suits seem to be discussing matters intently. The team leader stands firm, his assistant looking a bit nervous behind him. He places documents down, ready to address the serious topic at hand. A passionate speaker declares decarbonization is a matter of survival, not choice. Witness Min-soo Lee is called forward to address the serious proceedings. He confirms his representation of Soya Group at this important hearing. Someone requests the display of supporting materials on the big screen. The projector is ready to illuminate the evidence for everyone present. The question shifts to a line of large trucks asking for identification. Min-soo identifies them as electric trucks and fast chargers, then whose trucks? He names DS Beer and Hyun Brewing as the owners of those specific trucks. The team leader signals to move on to the next piece of evidence quickly. The next image shows a polluting truck parked in a Soya liquor lot. The questioning reveals this is Soya Liquor's reality, Korea's top seller. Well, you never intended to do it from the beginning. Dragged here. The top liquor company avoided environmental spending, that's why. Intense focus as the cross-examination continues. Committee members shout for show, using authority to look good. They drag out time, never letting the witness properly respond. Such a predictable political performance everyone saw coming. He asks politely, "May I respond to the question you just asked?" The angry man grunts, "Give it a try." Soya Liquor planned eco-friendly systems, but waited for the right moment. So, the other two companies rushed decarbonization unnecessarily? The angry man explodes, demanding why subsidies are being brought up now. Someone interjects, saying the witness was answering, "Stop shouting." Committee member Lee Sang-cheol is told to be quiet. It's someone else's turn. The questioner retorts that you must listen to the answer after asking. The chairman abruptly declares questioning time is officially over. Honorable Committee Member Park Seok-jung from the National Justice Party takes over. He addresses witness Min-soo Lee, noting the previous incomplete answer about Soya Liquor. Others protest, "Ask your own questions," but he insists on continuing his line of inquiry. The witness states he will provide his answer now, ignoring the chaos. He explains power module supply issues caused charger prices to soar due to cheap Chinese imports. He argues eco-friendly energy is a future growth industry needing government subsidies. These subsidies, he claims, should build domestic company foundations, not help competitors. Using taxpayer money for Chinese products while getting subsidies is apparently unprecedented globally. This explains why Soya Liquor delayed implementing eco-friendly logistics systems. Apparently, someone realizes this means only helping Chinese companies with citizen funds. Oh dear. This action is effectively killing the domestic industry, especially in a growth sector. Another member acknowledges the witness's point about the logistics delay justification. He then pivots, asking about Soya Liquor's decarbonization efforts beyond logistics. The witness confirms they are pursuing waste heat systems and better lighting upgrades. If true, the questioner demands proof that media concerns from 2 days ago are addressed. "Do you have the materials the witness just mentioned?" "Yes, I have both document form and file form." "Then please submit both documents and files to this committee member during recess." "Then I'll ask witness Min-soo Lee again." "The assistant just said they'd submit materials, but our investigation shows minimal work. Are you really pursuing these projects?" "Of course, you said you'd provide evidence, but this is to record the witness's statement. If there's even a bit of falsehood mixed in, legal action will follow, so speak carefully." That question would be difficult to answer right now. Why? Because in our company system, the ESG team only creates proposals. Making him drink muddy water was apparently quite simple. The ESG team did their job and resolved the issue well, so if you have complaints, direct them towards Soya Liquor. He tried avoiding the hearing with sneaky moves, it seems, but now he's cornered and must attend the hearing. The committee member and his party are now furious, sharpening their knives. Well then, how will you respond to this situation now? The man sits down, looking at his tablet, ready for action. Smash! The tablet goes flying and shatters dramatically. He's enraged, cursing Min-soo Lee for this whole mess. He realizes he needs to leave before his manager notices his absence. Time to make a quick exit before any trouble starts. He runs right into his manager in the restroom. The subordinate nervously greets the manager, trying to play it cool. The manager cuts the small talk, demanding he hurry up and leave. Our guy agrees instantly, clearly intimidated by the manager's stern look. Transitioning back to the office as the sun sets dramatically outside. Back at the desk, the team leader asks if everything went smoothly. Chae-eun praises the team leader, saying they carried the whole operation. He asks the manager if they witnessed the successful outcome firsthand. Manager asks about the team leader's amazing performance, seeking validation. A close-up shows the manager's intense, scrutinizing gaze. Someone peeks over a monitor against the dramatic sunset backdrop. The team leader is addressed, looking slightly confused by the question. The manager confirms submitting the assigned proposals from Assistant Manager Park and himself. He promises to finish the remaining submissions before Monday's work ends. The manager simply agrees, telling him to proceed as planned. Chae-eun hesitantly calls out to the team leader again. The manager offers a brief formal thank you for the hard work. The team leader acknowledges Manager Jung's contribution as well. Chae-eun suggests a Friday company dinner to celebrate their big win. The team leader gives a very firm and immediate no. She was hoping for more than just a quick dismissal, asking about the next dinner. He curtly replies, "Next time," then tells everyone to leave work. The team leader checks his watch, signaling the end of the workday, surprising everyone. Someone notes it is 6 o'clock, time to clock out. The team leader calls out to Assistant Manager Park, making him jump. Assistant Manager Park responds with a startled, "Yes?" to the sudden address. The team leader compliments his proposal submission, saying it was genuinely good. Park stammers a surprised, "Thank you," before the leader questions the thanks. A colleague watches Park as the leader mentions the ESG team. The leader tells everyone else to leave, he has work. Two men stand awkwardly in the elevator. Silence is deafening. Park worries about his awkward company life and the leader's words. The manager calls out to Assistant Manager Park again, making him jump. The manager suggests they go out for a drink together. Park is shocked by the sudden invitation to drink with the manager. The manager asks Park's preference between raw fish or seafood. Park says he eats everything well, ordering grilled fish and drinks. The manager takes a quick shot of what looks like soju. Park quickly downs a shot, perhaps a bit too fast. Gulp! The food arrives, including some raw fish and grilled fish. The manager stares intently, clearly processing something serious. Holding a shot glass, the manager admits a misunderstanding. Park looks confused as the manager questions his assumptions. The manager explains his dark vision of political manipulation. He feared Park would become a wandering master like himself. The manager picks up a small speckled egg, pausing his thought. Park insists everyone, including the manager, is actually good. The manager calls him Assistant Manager Park. Park confirms. The manager insists Park must survive, even if it means rough treatment. Park wonders if the manager meant something specific back at the office. The manager dismisses it, blaming his own terrible personality for the comment. He then threatens to physically discipline Park if he doesn't perform well. Park starts tearing up, clearly overwhelmed by the intense interaction. The manager acts confused by the tears, just asking for another drink. Park promises to work hard, thanking the manager through his distress. Later, the imposing Soya building looms large against the night sky. Someone watches the news featuring Park on a screen in a dark office. A man with glasses smirks, clearly pleased with the unfolding situation. The vice chairman confirms his orders, making the ESG team his direct concern. He dismisses concerns about involvement, claiming he is staying out of succession drama. He cryptically compares the situation to a pearl necklace with a hidden diamond centerpiece. A close-up shows the vice chairman's knowing, slightly sinister smile over the phone. Meanwhile, Park lies awake, contemplating the situation with a thoughtful expression. Later, a muscular man enjoys the beautiful sunny day by the ocean waves. He is startled by someone calling out his name, Min-soo. Min-gu arrives in a car, greeting his brother with a casual wave. Min-soo agrees to go out immediately, telling Min-gu he will park the car. The two men are now speeding across the bright blue water in an inflatable boat. Minsu says Sakchosi never gets boring as Mingu asks if he is ready. Minsu wonders if they should catch something with his fishing registration. Minsu jumps in first while Mingu yells to wait and go together. He sinks down into the deep blue water with bubbles rising. He reaches the neutral buoyancy zone between 10 and 15 meters depth. Staying still like this lets buried memories surface from the subconscious. A flashback shows someone calling out Minsu with a slightly creepy smile. The smiling man exclaims that having Minsu around makes him feel reassured. After his IT major, he worked on app development at his brother's venture company. Those 3 years were a mix of the happiest, most painful, and saddest times. They pushed through, believing success was just around the corner. A close-up shows a very intense, focused eye. But alas, life, as usual, threw a curveball. The brother's smiling photo at what looks like a memorial. He couldn't grasp why his kind brother suffered so much. The brother, facing a terminal illness, left gifts for everyone. He sold the company, leaving a nice inheritance for the family. The acquiring company turned out to be Soya Distribution, oh dear. He gave his share to his sister-in-law and joined Soya as an employee. Selling to Soya Distribution was apparently the wrong move, tragically. He surfaces, taking a big gasp, clearly shaken from his underwater excursion. His concerned brother asks if he is all right after being submerged for a while. The brother reveals he was underwater for 5 minutes and 17 seconds. The younger man is surprised by the long duration, thinking his condition is good. He brushes off the concern, claiming his physical state is surprisingly excellent today. Then he asks about his brother's haul, who proudly shows off a net full of seafood. The brother excitedly anticipates Minsu's famous cold cucumber soup for dinner. They are now enjoying a lavish spread of sashimi and drinks together. The muscular brother seems very happy with the delicious meal they are sharing. The younger man smiles contentedly, enjoying the moment with his sibling. The muscular one says goodbye, heading out into the night. A beautiful, starry night unfolds above the water. He walks alone under the dock lights near some sailboats. He thinks, "You're really the best, Appa," looking thoughtful. The other man replies, "The really good stuff hasn't even started yet." The woman giggles, saying he is saying strange things again. The man suggests, "It's getting cold, let's hurry back to the lodge." He looks intently at the woman, perhaps a bit too closely. Suddenly, the younger man calls out, "Brother Gu-hyun?" Gu-hyun looks shocked, asking, "No, why are you here?" He claims this item belongs to someone he knows, calling out Captain. The other man asks about leaving something at the University Marina dock. Gu-hyun agrees. The older man is asked if the item is his. He sighs, admitting he bought one. The younger man notes he must earn a lot of money. Gu-hyun says enough to live. He suggests grabbing a meal sometime, then says he will leave first. The woman asks who that was. The man explains it was a younger brother figure. Internally, Minsu didn't care about Gu-hyun's success or failure. To Minsu, Kim Gu-hyun was utterly insignificant, like a rolling stone. The scene shifts abruptly to Monday morning at the Soya building. Office workers are diligently typing away at their desks, a busy start to the week. Minsu identifies himself as team leader Minsu Lee from ESG on the phone. The caller, Section Chief Jong Yoo-min from Biscuit House, explains their entertainment business. Minsu quickly states he is from Soya Group's ESG team, wrong number. The caller asks for someone named Kang Chae-eun, making Minsu pause. Minsu relays the request and Chae-eun immediately responds, "Yes, team leader." Minsu announces they want to scout her, causing Chae-eun visible shock. She exclaims, "What?" Learning it's an entertainment agency after the hearing. Chae-eun vehemently refuses, demanding Minsu reject the offer immediately. She argues why he is forcing her to consider this career change. The caller tries to reschedule, but Chae-eun is clearly flustered and hangs up. Minsu confirms his identity to the caller, sounding slightly confused. Chae-eun reacts with renewed shock, hearing they want her to take the call again. The office phone sits there, the red light indicating an active line. The phone line is still buzzing with activity, demanding attention. Minsu pauses, his intense gaze suggesting he's processing something. Minsu identifies himself again, this time to General Manager Kang Chae-eun. The General Manager asks Minsu to come directly to his office. Minsu calmly agrees to the General Manager's request. Chae-eun interrupts, insisting she will handle all future calls herself. She clarifies the important caller is General Manager Kang Chae-eun, heading to his office. Oh no, Kang Chae-eun is the caller, making her worry about provoking him. She wonders if confronting him about the hearing was perhaps too much. The team leader is clearly capable, but maybe a bit too blunt sometimes. His exceptional talent means he skips pleasantries, creating more friction. He's a powerful ally, yet unnervingly intense like a walking weapon. With such immense power, he really needs to watch his steps seriously. Walking away, the narrator notes their terrible working relationship dynamic. A close-up shows a hand clenching tightly, showing underlying tension. A voice commands him to enter, setting a formal, tense atmosphere. Min-soo enters, but is immediately told to remain standing, not sit down. Was that intentional sabotage or just a massive blunder? He accuses Min-soo of deliberately trying to undermine him, clearly furious. The accuser points out Min-soo's shoes, addressing him formally. He questions if Min-soo thinks he can stay after such an action. Min-soo asks if he is about to be terminated right now. Min-soo demands a clear answer about his employment status immediately. Min-soo asks what the heck is going on with this drama. He wants confirmation so he can update his resume for other jobs. Min-soo declares he is leaving since the firing seems imminent. The other man warns that using people to climb won't last long. He claims he could have done better, just be thankful for the repayment. The other man reacts with a look of utter disbelief and slight disgust. We see the sign for the ESG team where the drama unfolds. Someone asks the team leader how the meeting went. Min-soo looks confused. Min-soo asks about General Manager Kang Chae-eun's response, getting a curt reply. The man insists he is the team leader now with a stern look. He suggests it's better if the leader shares information because everyone is anxious. Min-soo admits he is anxious too, demanding to know what General Manager Kang said. The man dramatically claims the general manager was just barking and foaming. He then states he told the general manager something to stop the aggressive behavior. He smugly suggests the general manager is now embarrassed about his outburst. A colleague reacts with shock, realizing the team leader actually confronted the manager. They lament that he clashed with Kang Chae-eun again, fearing termination. The team leader calmly takes a call, confirming his identity from the ESG team. The caller, the vice chairman, demands the team leader come to his office immediately. The team leader announces his departure, telling everyone to keep working diligently. The team murmurs agreement, clearly stunned by the sudden summons. An observer notes, "This is the most dramatic thing seen in 11 years of work." They list the escalating figures: director, VIP general manager, and now the vice chairman. The colleague desperately hopes this time the vice chairman summons him for something good. Vice chairman asks what he was summoned for with a knowing chuckle. He compliments the guy, saying he enjoyed the recent hearing performance. The colleague looks slightly confused by the sudden praise. The vice chairman asks why he bothered applying to the ESG team. The colleague claims it was just for a team leader promotion chance. The vice chairman laughs, calling out the obvious lie immediately. He brings up the delivery app, Nam, questioning why he left his brother. The vice chairman insists that ambition for promotion doesn't fit his actions. He suggests the real plan was just coasting, collecting salary, and quitting. The vice chairman points out that era is over because he's changing things. The vice chairman demands, "Why? Are you going to quit then?" The subordinate coolly states he is not particularly attached to the company. The vice chairman laughs, knowing this means chaos for manager Kang Chae-eun. He suggests the subordinate's confidence means he can easily jump ship elsewhere. But the vice chairman calls that belief a delusion. Good companies don't hire quitters easily. He slams papers down, asking if changing companies constantly ruins one's resume. The older man warns that confidence fades when life takes a sudden downturn. He reveals he also clawed his way up from an ordinary employee position. So, the vice chairman advises him to think very carefully about his next move. He sips his drink, noting that recognizing an opportunity is also a skill. The older man just blinked, clearly confused by the sudden silence. "What did you just say?" the older man demanded, shocked. He declared firmly, "I said I'm just going to quit." Then he announced, "Then I'll be going now," turning away. The vice chairman was left speechless as the man walked toward the exit. The older man sputtered, What? Completely flustered. His shocked expression intensified, looking utterly bewildered by the turn of events. Suddenly, the metaphorical rope connecting them snapped dramatically in the darkness. The older man screamed, "Hey, you ignorant bastard, won't you stop right there?" A few minutes earlier, the vice chairman asked about Min-soo Lee's ESG report. Clearly this guy is sharp, a real cutting instrument. He realized another crucial detail from this whole mess. That, my friends, is the true power of the ESG team. Re-examining the ESG team, which I previously ignored, was revealing something quite fascinating about Min-soo Lee's group surfaced. The ESG team possesses investigative capabilities, just like government agencies. Agencies like intelligence services or tax offices poke everywhere, wielding power. Utilizing this well means the ESG team can investigate anything internally. The Innovation Strategy Office also has power, but it's fundamentally different. While innovation seeks growth, the ESG team operates on the opposing principle. Lowering supply prices threatens partner company welfare, an ESG concern. Entering the used car market, especially with polluting vehicles, raises eyebrows. The ESG team thrives on holding busy people accountable, it seems. Basically, the ESG team can meddle in absolutely everything. Wow. ES&G, environment, social, governance, cover all the bases. Min-soo Lee, the ESG team leader, wields this powerful oversight. This sharp blade is perfect against the chairman's brother's growing influence. However, this powerful tool could become toxic if handled poorly. Some employees show questionable loyalty, like leaving early or betraying the family. An uncontrollable weapon is best gotten rid of, like snapping a sword. He reviewed the file, checking if this asset was useful or trash. A top data major? Unexpected for an ESG team leader, frankly. Developing a successful delivery app makes him even more intriguing. His internal standing is decent, though he's apparently a bit rude. An interesting, very peculiar guy this ESG leader truly is. He thought he knew the game, but the hunter might be the prey. The chairman's brother was shocked by the sheer audacity displayed. Min-soo had analyzed everything, planning to keep him under control. But he never expected such blatant disregard for authority. Leaving abruptly, the old man clutched his glasses, realizing this stubborn person was trouble. He wanted to curse and eject the guy, but this ignorance was tempting. Amidst the chaos, it was hard to tell who was loyal to whom, apparently. This person's value is too high. Even the chairman's brother's family can't sway him. Sweet talk or pressure from the brother's side simply won't work on this guy. He needs to fend off the brother until the chairman returns. This guy is essential. Capable, not involved in politics, and won't get tangled up later. Perfect. Yet he can still challenge the chairman's brother's family? Seriously, man. The older man, sweating, finally asks, "What exactly do you want?" The younger man replies, "I don't get what you're saying," setting up a negotiation. "Let's make a deal, you scoundrel," the older man proposes with big offers. He asks if he can reveal his demands later, stalling for time. The younger man confirms he doesn't need anything immediately, just a yes. The older man is shocked by the easy agreement, questioning his motives. The younger man states it doesn't matter because it's work he'd do anyway. The older man fixates on the "work I'm doing at the company" comment. Realization dawns. He just needs to leave work on time, that's the key. The older man regrets not offering the on-time departure sooner, sighing deeply. The younger man asks for permission to depart now that the deal is struck. The older man stops him, wanting to discuss the nature of the work assigned. He suspects the young man knows about the general manager Kang Chae-eun situation. The older man wonders what exactly is going on inside the younger man's mind. He acknowledges the young man seems to grasp the core idea, but warns it won't be simple. Moving to his direct department means facing intense scrutiny from other sides. Therefore, the young man must perform exceptionally well to silence critics. Only then can this blade truly unleash its necessary power. The older man checks if the younger man fully comprehends the gravity of the situation. The younger man confirms his understanding of the high stakes involved. He then asks if the young man is aware of the ESG team's crucial initial project. The younger man confidently states there is nothing he cannot accomplish. Satisfied, the older man grins, declaring the matter settled and granting permission to leave. The newly authorized young man strides away with purpose. Back in the office, the team is busy typing away. One colleague pauses, deep in thought, looking slightly troubled. The manager tells Kang Chae-eun to grab some coffee immediately. She apologizes, worried about the situation and what to do next. The young man asks what the specific worry is about. She fears he might say something inappropriate to the vice chairman. He dismisses the concern, thinking the team leader wouldn't dare. She counters that the team leader acts differently with higher-ups. The anxious colleague worries about the team leader's unpredictable actions returning. He dramatically claims the team leader acts like a scared dog around the vice chairman, right? He then asks if his description of the team leader was somehow wrong. A sudden realization hits him. Ugh, don't tell me. He quickly clarifies that wasn't his intended meaning about the team leader. The team leader announces big changes coming to the team after talking with the vice chairman. Everyone wonders what kind of structural changes are coming to their department. Now they gain proactive decision-making authority moving forward. They question what happens to ESG proposals from subsidiaries now. The team leader simply says to stop accepting those proposals immediately. The colleague panics, predicting absolute chaos without those proposals. The first project for the newly empowered ESG team is super important now. They absolutely must succeed to prove their team's worthiness. A colleague looks utterly bewildered by this sudden pressure. The team leader stands over the cubicles, surveying his team. The female colleague hesitantly asks if he has a project ready. The leader pauses, admitting he needs time to consider options. What? Everyone collectively wonders about this lack of immediate plan. He tells everyone to brainstorm ideas while he thinks too. The leader returns to his desk, intensely focused on some papers. He seems determined, perhaps already having a secret idea brewing. Leader snaps back, demanding everyone get a grip immediately. He assigns coffee runs and smoke breaks, declaring intensive work time. Everyone quickly agrees, typing furiously as the pressure mounts. One employee asks about overtime, but the leader says no overtime for him. A quick shot of the office building against a bright sky. Relief washes over the two guys stepping outside for a breather. One guy sighs, clearly feeling the weight of the sudden intensity. The leader firmly reminds him, "I said get a grip." The smoker asks what's the big deal, it was so sudden. The leader counters, "We already started running, so what now?" He reminds his partner about the whole surviving thing. The other guy agrees, remembering the survival mandate. "Right, let's survive," they confirm, clinging to each other. Tenaciously they agree, ready for whatever comes next. Back inside, someone is typing away diligently at their desk. Min-soo Lee from the ESG team gets a call. The caller is Director Jo Sung-beom, demanding an immediate meeting. A title card flashes, Soya Innovation Strategy Office. The director, looking quite imposing, simply says, "Come in." Min-soo enters, asking if the director summoned him. Min-soo asks why he was called in for this meeting. The director explains the vice chairman wants an ESG team framework announcement. He adds he wanted to chat before the big executive meeting. Director Jo then asks if Min-soo read The Prince. Min-soo confirms he has read the political text. The director quotes the book, "Nobles can be replaced, but citizens cannot." The director states Min-soo's recent actions mirror this tricky situation. He suggests Min-soo tried to make manager Kang look bad, but Soya Liquor suffered. Director Jo warns against creating internal employee hostility, especially now. Being the vice chairman's department means that anger will target him next. Director asks if Min-soo has any thoughts. Min-soo simply replies, "No." The director notes the vice chairman has plans for that position, but he can't approve. He warns Min-soo to be careful moving forward. Then Min-soo asks to stand up. The director smirks, confirming Min-soo is indeed quite rude. Min-soo confirms his rudeness and says he can leave now, keeping his promise to the chairman. Min-soo asks if keeping his promise isn't enough, then turns to leave. Min-soo announces his departure, and the director is left alone, sighing. The director hears about the rudeness, finding it beyond imagination. He sighs deeply while taking out a cigarette pack. Lighting up, the director warns Min-soo to try that rudeness just one more time. The director vows to fire Min-soo no matter what, considering the vice chairman's motives. Min-soo returns to the office area, looking quite composed. His colleagues immediately call out for the team leader, asking where he vanished. Min-soo casually states the innovation strategy director summoned him, surprising everyone. A coworker questions if he actually went to the innovation strategy office. Min-soo dismisses their questions, demanding everyone get back to their seats now. The team reacts with surprise to the sudden command. Min-soo announces he has devised the first project for the newly reorganized ESG team. The team huddles around the monitor, looking intently at the screen. A colleague points out the project details, recognizing the Soya Liquor project. She worries about General Manager Kang Chae-eun's strong resentment, but he insists they must accept. Someone asks why he is so certain, as he holds up an old ice cube tray. He recalls how ice cubes used to stick tightly in those old refrigerator trays. Twisting or tapping the tray inevitably caused one cube to fall onto the floor. The team looks utterly confused by this strange analogy about ice cubes. Min-soo declares that fallen ice cube is exactly General Manager Kang Chae-eun. He dramatically points out that this person is the weakest link in the structure. A figure dramatically descends toward the ground, looking quite agitated. Min-soo confirms that this weak link is currently trapped and cornered. The female colleague reacts with wide-eyed shock to this revelation. The office area looks quiet, perhaps after a major event. General Manager Kang Chae-eun is clearly stressed, buried under paperwork. He mutters, damn, amidst the scattered documents. Kang Chae-eun curses Min-soo Lee, questioning the current situation's fairness. The media narrative flipped. The underdog's story vanished from public view. Now the focus is on using taxpayer money to buy Chinese trucks. Min-soo's team successfully shifted the public conversation away from their issues. The problem was Min-soo undermined them, yet the subsidiary failed its part. Now they must prove their decarbonization efforts at the upcoming hearing. But Min-soo blocked cheap Chinese equipment, forcing expensive domestic purchases. A wild card idea surfaces, something everyone might actually like. Kang Chae-eun seems momentarily taken aback by the sudden development. Min-soo Lee from ESG team calls, introducing himself to Kang Chae-eun. Chae-eun questions Min-soo's sudden interest in cooperation. Min-soo boldly requests business cooperation regarding eco-friendly logistics. The recipient of the call explodes, thinking Min-soo is insane. Min-soo's team watches, clearly nervous about the phone call's reception. Min-soo suggests the other party is still holding a grudge. A teammate wonders if this plan is even feasible right now. Min-soo believes desperation will force the contact to reach out later. The recipient screams that teasing has its limits, even for him. He then identifies the caller as Min-soo Lee, promising retribution later. The man curses repeatedly, clearly agitated by the phone call. He lets out a heavy sigh, perhaps realizing the situation is serious. His eyes narrow intensely, showing deep focus or rising anger. He notes that a tablet broke and now a phone is broken too. He admits Min-soo Lee makes him act out of character, unlike his usual self. He complains about being busy, telling the caller to return later. The caller retorts that with the current mess, his job must be on fire. Someone arrives calling him bro and asks what brings him there, mentioning an employee fight. Even a mere team leader was doing surprisingly well, he thought. He admits always fearing his brothers and leaving his mother at 18. Guilt over his mother and fear of the new family environment lingered. He wondered what kind of people his 3 much older brothers would be. His expression showed clear shock and apprehension about his family situation. He couldn't even manage to speak properly to them due to intimidation. Their cold gazes fueled his inferiority complex about being illegitimate, making him shrink. His hands nervously fiddled with a small rectangular object, making a sound. He bit down on the object, thinking about how he looked with that stupid face. He thought someone was a mouse stealing grains, but he overestimated them. He smugly states you cannot touch that guy because of the vice chairman. The other guy is shocked to hear the ESG team is now a direct department. The smug one calls him pathetic for not knowing this crucial information. He calls the other guy an idiot, questioning why the ESG team was promoted. The promotion was because of you, showing how to use the ESG team effectively. He warns the other guy to just stay within his assigned boundaries. Since you keep pushing limits, isn't that how things fall apart? The intimidated one questions what exactly his limits are, looking confused. They lean in close, demanding to know what his actual capabilities are. A sinister grin appears, declaring the answer is right here, right now. He clarifies he's here about the ESG team, not father's business. He warns the other guy not to mess up again, who just curses. The shocked man collapses onto his knees with a loud thud. He wonders if father has truly lost all faith in him now. He admits relying on father was how he succeeded against his brothers. Hearing those words, however, felt surprisingly true and impactful. He decides he absolutely must confirm this information directly with father. The phone on the desk is completely smashed into pieces. He stands there, looking thoughtful next to the broken office equipment. Then, a sinister chuckle escapes as he starts laughing maniacally. He admits this whole situation is quite humiliating, honestly. He questions why he's acting so unlike himself, checking on father. Seeking external validation for what he already knows shows weakness. He realizes he should have focused on organizing his own standing instead. Should he grovel completely or seek an alternative, less stomach-turning route? Meanwhile, a woman is calmly eating lunch in a large, empty cafeteria. She is multitasking, reviewing documents while taking a bite of her meal. Suddenly, her phone rings, causing her to look up with surprise. Someone confidently states that desperation will force him to reach out eventually. And look at that, the call is from Kang Chae-eun, just as planned. He asks what the big deal is, noting her long silence. She cuts to the chase, mentioning she is eating lunch now. Kang Chae-eun is surprised she is still at the company cafeteria. She confirms her team leader already clocked out for the day. He demands she call the team leader immediately, but she refuses. He insists it is important for her team, so she should comply. She says it is troublesome, but the matter is urgent for today. They both acknowledge the urgency with only a week until the hearing. Success on the first project is critical, with so little time remaining. She hints that there is just one possible solution left. She is chilling, humming a little tune while sitting casually. He suddenly appears, asking about the boiling time for something. She is surprised by his sudden arrival, greeting him quickly. He states the precise time, 2 hours and 18 minutes. He asks if she did the initial boiling step too. She confirms, listing the aromatics added during the 10 minutes. He tastes it, declaring it, good work. He quickly adds that it's all going into his mouth anyway. He tells her to set the table outside while he changes clothes. She agrees that setting the table outside will be fast. Silence hangs heavy as the 3 figures stand awkwardly in the small space. He points out it's her rare day off, justifying the effort she put in. She retorts that 3 hours of cooking deserves more than a curt, good work. He dismisses her complaint, demanding she let him pass through to change. She stops him, clarifying she is not the boss's daughter, clearly annoyed. He pauses, utterly confused by the sudden shift in the situation dynamics. He quickly tells her to hold off on setting the outdoor table for now. He confirms the meal will be ready soon, turning back toward the kitchen. She questions the outdoor setting, realizing he wants a private meal for two. He insists she eat the home-cooked meal since she already made the trip. He changes his mind, suggesting they just discuss things at the office tomorrow. He wonders why he even bothered coming all this way. He stands alone on the rooftop as the sun sets dramatically. He looks surprised by something happening in the moment. She announces the food is ready, making him question her timing. He urges her to eat quickly before the meal gets cold. The table is set with steaming food and a bottle of drinks. He internally critiques the rustic food presentation, then offers a drink. He plans to just endure the conversation and leave swiftly, accepting the drink. He takes a small sip from the tiny glass. He sighs contentedly after that tiny sip of liquid. Chopsticks carefully pick up a piece of meat with a garnish. He smiles slightly, preparing to taste the food with chopsticks. The other guy asks why he isn't joining in on the eating. He is questioned about his inability to eat this simple snack. The host insists he needs lots of sauce because it's not salty. He thinks everything about this guy's eating habits is annoying. He notes this personality is different from the office persona. He reluctantly puts the meat in his mouth, dreading the texture. He realizes he must eat to keep up with the current mood. He wonders what mistake he just made while being offered green onion kimchi. The host suggests the new combination isn't bad after they finish eating. The aftermath shows the empty dishes from their rooftop meal. The conversation shifts abruptly to discussing a call about business cooperation. He seems interested, noting the cooperation idea doesn't sound terrible. The topic turns to eco-friendly logistics, which is clearly causing stress. The other guy points out this issue is why the manager has a headache. He blames team leader Min-soo Lee for the current predicament. The host counters that the manager started it, demanding equivalent repayment. He reluctantly agrees to listen to the proposed solution for now. Bioenergy comes from fermenting grains, which sounds eco-friendly, right? But this green energy has issues like supply chain problems and high costs. Imagine if the corn harvest fails. The whole system collapses then. So using bioenergy for logistics seems like a truly terrible idea now. He sighs, thinking he expected too much from a team clueless about viability. The other guy notices his relief, asking if he is feeling better now. He explodes, asking if that sigh looked like relief after all this. Bioenergy is inefficient except for this one surprising exception, soya liquor. Wait, an exception for soya liquor? What does that even mean? The exception is the massive amount of waste grain it produces. Fermenting waste grain directly is possible because soya liquor is a fermentation expert. He's already looking into bioethanol transport equipment for a meeting tomorrow. Only one domestic manufacturer has the necessary bioethanol truck technology, a hidden card. Wait, this isn't about bioenergy. It's about Min-soo Lee's past moves. He declares he will attend the hearing, causing a surprised reaction. The hearing should be about soya liquor, handled by the ESG team now. The ESG team must handle it because they are the main agent now. Pressure from the chairman's brother's family will start if they cooperate. If Kang Chae-eun resists, the ESG team's debut could collapse under pressure. He wonders if team leader Min-soo Lee figured out his real intentions. He asks if they are going to betray them again at the hearing. Soya should attend the hearing. The committee is ready for a fight. He claims his warning was just out of concern due to past issues. He insists that previous actions were equivalent to a serious offense. The scene shifts to the next day outside the imposing Soya building. A lavish hallway suggests important business is about to unfold inside. A powerful man sits back, looking very relaxed and in control. He looks shocked, clearly not expecting the news he just received. Someone announces a directive to completely dismantle the ESG team. The older man asks if he will let the vice chairman run wild. He vows to succeed no matter the cost for recognition. This is his chance to strike at the vice chairman and impress father. The powerful man signals for the next person to enter his office. A nervous manager reports that ESG team leader Min-soo is testifying again. He scowls, wondering why the ESG team is involved in this hearing again. They messed up the hearing and are now trying to fix their own mess? After restructuring, ESG personnel placements caused an uproar in departments. Soya Liquor complained, saying ESG should handle their own related issues. General Manager Kang Chae-eun seized the moment to voice his complaints. He claimed Soya Liquor won't cooperate if this negativity spreads further. A closed, imposing set of double doors suggests a serious meeting is about to happen. Kang Chae-eun is seated, acknowledging the arrival of his superior, Hyung-nim. The imposing figure immediately questions Kang Chae-eun about his recent actions. Kang Chae-eun confirms he meant excluding the ESG team from the hearing. Kang Chae-eun explains his personal strategy regarding the ESG team's downfall. The superior is shocked, asking for clarification on this aggressive thinking. Kang Chae-eun believes the hearing is a perfect chance to eliminate ESG. He points out the previous hearing failure makes any defense weak. The superior looks stern, questioning how the target could possibly recover now. A moment of doubt creeps in. What if he actually has a brilliant fix? No way, he says, then declares, then I'll attend. He smugly asks if they thought he hadn't prepared for the hearing. The subordinate admits everything was checked, finding no viable solution this time. He dismisses hydrogen trucks, suggesting only domestic products are the fallback. The target's previous statement makes using domestic products the only option now. The superior questions why use domestic products now after earlier dismissal. He predicts the assembly members will attack like hungry dogs if he does. He suggests setting up the target to fail again, ensuring a company downfall. The superior ponders the plan, asking for confirmation. Don't you think? The subordinate offers to attend themselves if the superior feels uneasy. Committee member. Go Kyung-suk prepared mountains of data for the hearing. She had volumes on domestic, Chinese products, chargers, and truck distribution. She was clearly ready to sabotage that guy with all this paperwork. The target, however, looked completely unbothered by her efforts. Go Kyung-suk was absolutely furious, practically glowing with rage. The subordinate looked utterly shocked by the turn of events. But the hearing ended before Go Kyung-suk could even question Min-soo. Min-soo also avoided even glancing at her as the session concluded. Someone was watching the replay of the Soya liquor decarbonization hearing. Then, with a dramatic flourish, the laptop screen shattered. A hand, clearly injured, wonders who to eliminate next. The angry viewer debates between Kang Chae-eun and Min-soo Lee. Suddenly, the man watching reacts with wide-eyed shock. The office phone sits silently on the desk, perhaps waiting for a call.